Hello everyone, welcome back to Newcastle Fans TV. I've got 40, I've got Johnny as well. Look at this, I'm multitasking two hands here. We have had Sam here, but he's actually off because his little one's absolutely fouling a kip and it's his first game, and he's seen his hero score the winner. So everyone's happy today, and it's actually a massive relief to see Newcastle win because it's been such a long time since the Fulham game, yeah, I think it is. Yeah. It was weeks back. As ever, this is the last word. It's the most in-depth video. We'll chat for ages on this. We'll look at the lineups. We'll talk about the game. We'll hear from Eddie Howe as well. We'll have a little look at the league table because Newcastle have moved up one position. 40, I'm going to come to you on this. There was 5 changes in the lineup. Question mark around the left back. Would that be changed because Dan Burn's been a bit of a target? See what I've done there? That was quick, wasn't it? Yeah. We knew that Lascelles would change. There wasn't a massive surprise if Fabian Schär was fit. Joe Linton was suspended, so we knew that Willock would come in. But the front three were completely changed and freshened it up. Exactly, yeah. You were happy with that?
I was happy with that. I've been calling for it for a long time now. Isak has to start. I mean, he's been on fire as of late, and he just warrants it. And Wilson, he's been not finding the back of the net, so it's a no-brainer. I mean, you can't have 60 million's worth of talent on the bench just sitting there getting 20 minutes a game. So it's right for him to start, and boy, he made the most of it. I mean, from the start, on the front foot, attacking. The only surprise for me was Murphy starting, but again, it's refreshing to see a right-footed player on the right wing rather than Almirón on the right side having to cut back or wait for Trippier to overlap. So again, it's something that I've been calling for a while now. It's been a bit too predictable as of late, but I'm just happy that we've actually won a game in a very long time.
Johnny, the Isak one, because we've been shouting for it. There's some mad horns going on now there.
It's Ruben Neves, he's not happy.
Yeah, I was probably saying that we're playing long ball football again. Yeah. Isak one, everyone on the channel has been saying, look, he's got to change it because for some whatever reason, something's not working with Wilson. So, as 40 says, he got his chance today. We're delighted to say that.
Yeah, I think everybody was calling for it. I think we were calling for it last week against Manchester City when we were down there, and Eddie Howe decided to stick with Wilson. I think that was kind of like the last game. I think he went, you know what, we've got to let Isak from the start have a go and see what he can do. And against Wolves, no disrespect to Wolves, on paper you would think Newcastle can beat Wolves at home, and obviously they have done today. But what he does, he offers us such a different dimension. He's so quick, but he's quick, isn't he? He's deceptively quick. But I think the biggest thing, I think he's about 2 seconds quicker than most defenders in the head, and I think he can just, it's like, especially when he sees like saint-maximin, he comes short and then just turns and then he's away, and you just think, and there was so many times where the Wolves defence just didn't have a clue what to do. Craig Dawson didn't really know what to do. Max Kilman was thinking, how do I stop him? But he got his goal, and I think that was just the most relief. He played that well and got a goal, and you've got to start every game at the minute.
I was just going to say, he had Dawson on skates today, yeah. Absolute skates. He didn't know what to do.
Do you like the fact he comes deep as well?
I was about to say that. I don't think he's a natural number 9. He's more of a number 10. The way that he just drops into the D area when we're driving forward, of course, like he's not like a Callum Wilson that he'll just stay up top. He likes to drive with the ball. He wants the cutback. That's the only thing that I would say about when ASM was on the ball. He's calling for the cutback a lot of the time. But again, the way he just glides, he's like a gazelle, isn't he? And like someone else said, he's a bit Thierry Henry-esque. Hold tight, Sam. But again, just the way that he just drives with the ball, drives.
You know fine well he's got to bite back at that now. You've said that.
Sam, you should have told me that information. But again, fantastic player, and yeah, got a great goal today as well.
We'll talk about the goal because it's a free kick over on the right hand side. We will talk about a couple of other chances. I never do it in order for some reason. I just kind of forget it because I haven't seen any replays back.
One big thing that we haven't talked about before the goal, by the way, and that's Wolves basically shouldn't have a penalty.
Yeah, I'm going to come back to that because they're pedantic at the post as well. So the free kick from the right, Trippier, which we have criticised his delivery, his corners, whips in a great whip in, and then Then Isak gets past free, and it's just a great header.
How's it go?
Just like that one. It was just class, bottom corner, caught it on camera, which is great. Obviously, I can't play it on this video, which is a shame. But yeah, it's fantastic. We're 1-0 up, and it's, we're talking about his presence, and did he have to score today, or if he's played well, he would still be in the lineup on Friday?
I think he probably, if he played well and we could see an improvement on the pitch, I think he probably wanted to have a couple of games to give it a go. I think it was like 4 or 5 games and he didn't score. Then I think you could go, well, really need to score today. But I just thought today there was just no way on God's earth when you watch that 60-65 minutes he put in today that he wasn't going to score today, because he scored one, and if it wasn't for a really good block he could have had two, and he was just a complete menace. I think Lopetegui must be thinking, bloody hell,
but he will have known him because he's Spanish La Liga last season.
Yeah, exactly, and he must have gone, well, he's a player, and like I was quite surprised. Like I know I'll give Sam a bit of credit. Like he was banging on the drum for Isak for a little while. I don't really watch foreign football, as you know, Lee, but he was so convincing him. And I know
watch Scottish football,
but still,
yeah, now don't bite at me in the comments.
Yeah. But in all seriousness, I think what I kind of want to say is that yes, it's still early days, and he's only probably played about 15 games for Newcastle at most, considering the injury he had. But if he stays fit for a whole season, how does he not get 20 goals?
I'm just gutted that we took him off. I'm really gutted.
Is that not just down to, because there was talk at his press conference, a couple of journalists have kind of over-exaggerated that he can't play 90 minutes?
Yeah, but I don't know, the way he's just driving the ball, he offers something totally different to Wilson. No disrespect to Wilson, but the way he can drive at defenders, just moving them out of place, moving them out of position. And it would be nice one day, I think we've had it back in the Fulham game, playing them both together, when we had Wilson and Isak together. So again, fantastic game, and it's similar to like his debut, just the way that he just attacks players.
I love the fact he's a ball carrier. Before we get on to a couple of the Wolves chances, Newcastle, I said in the WhatsApp, some of the football that were played in that first half in spells was some of the best. It was just a joy to watch, because it's been such a long time since we've actually played really good football, probably going back to Leicester way when I was down there. It's been a long time, and it's not just that. I want to give even Alan Saint-Maximin and Joe Willock in particular.
He was amazing.
I think I'm pipping him. Go back and have a look at scoring the players when I've scored him, but those three interchanging. It was a big game for Willock as well, Johnny, because he knows that Joe Linton is probably just going to come straight back in. Yes, he's get the Forest game out of the way and then the international break, but in the back of his mind thinking, I need to perform here, because Sean Longstaff's a little bit, I wouldn't say he's undroppable, but it's competition for places.
Well, it is, and there's probably going to be a debate in regards to the wingers as well, in regards to competition for places, and we might discuss that a little bit later, but there is, and that's a good thing, it's healthy. You want
We needed that, because again, like too many other games, the team pretty much like picks itself, right? Like at least 9 out of 11 players you would know is going to start. The reason why, well, I'm glad that we changed it around now. So now, players like Willock and all the rest of it, Isak now coming to the team now, it's keeping these players on their toes, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. And I think it's more the fact that Isak and Willock actually work really well together as well. I think they're kind of both on the same wavelength as well.
I think Maxi likes that as well.
Yeah, I think you do. I think they probably. I'm not saying he hasn't got a good connection with Wilson.
Similar glidey players.
They are. They're very.
Is that a word?
Yeah, probably just about. But I do agree. I do take your point in the sense that it's 3 and 4, isn't it? Bruno, Joe Linton, Sean, and Joe Willock, and it's like, well, come on then, boys. Best man wins. That's how you got to take, because look, the Forest game's going to be a difficult game, but after that it's Man United at home and St James's at the same time, 4:30 on a Sunday. It'll be box office, because we'll want revenge on Man United, and you'd be going, I want to play in this game. The only thing with Joe Linton is there'll be times where Eddie Howe will go, I want to play on the left for certain games, depending on whoever that right back is, and I think there'll be times where you'll see that, and one of the wingers unfortunately will get dropped for that. But at the minute, best of luck to all four of them, going, right, I want to nail my position. I think the only person I would say right now that's undroppable in the midfield is Bruno, for obvious reasons.
Yeah, I'm just going to switch.
Different gravy.
Switch hands. Yeah, so we had, speaking of Bruno, he hit the bar with a header. We had a couple of other chances as well, which we've talked about. This happens every time the last word. We've got to shuffle along, because we're going to get one out again. Who is it this week? It's Pat Nevin. It's Pat Nevin, former Chelsea and Everton. Yeah, he'll be doing the radio today. But
will he?
Well, he'll be doing one.
5 Live? I don't think he'll be doing 5 Live this weekend.
Or maybe, I don't know. Maybe he's doing punt. I don't know. But yeah, we hit the bar. We had a couple of shots, block shots as well. But the Wolves, there's a couple of scary moments. Nick Pope, because I haven't seen it about you, Johnny. You've said at the match reaction to penalty, Sam's like, ooh, it's not.
I agree.
I thought it was a bit ooh. I thought it was a bit ooh.
And I'll give you another ooh before that as well. Dan Burn, I think, went on a little mazy run. He overstretched and he took out Neves, there you go. And then went down the other ends, and then I think it's a penalty. I agree with Johnny.
It's stone wall. It's absolutely stone wall.
And if it's red
card. It's a red card. It's stupid. It's Nick Pope, heavy touch. in panics. But the only thing that
VAR would have looked at it.
I don't know. I just look at the referee and I go, like, I'm not a Wolves fan, but if I'm a neutral watching that game, and I'm looking at that referee going, how have you seen that so clear and have not given that penalty and not given the red card? Do you know what it is? I think he's bottled it on that occasion, but do you know what? There's been so many times over the years we've been on the wrong end of a decision like that. Is it the fact now, because we're near the top of the league?
Are you seeing referees a favourite?
All I'm saying is,
top five bias, is there?
All I'm saying is that it's funny when, if it was, let's say if Manchester City came to town and that happened, Nick Pope's not.
Yeah,
on
that's
the pitch.
Haaland going round.
That's Haaland. That's a penalty. Pep Guardiola will be going mental. So I'm telling that for a fact, and I'm not a biased Newcastle fan in that way. It's a Stonewall red card, but we got away with murder on that one.
Yeah. They say it evens it out, doesn't it? So I thought it was. Again, I haven't seen it back yet, but yes, and there wasn't just that. You had the Pedence shot that hit the post as well. So it was still, although there was spells that we were brilliant going forward, the interaction between the three players I mentioned before, there was still a little bit of worry what was coming in behind. But then we got it in the dressing room. Half time came. Thought I'll come to you this one. Yeah. The zip just kind of went a little bit, didn't it?
Yeah, I think we lost our momentum. I think half time came at the wrong time because we were just all over them, and we was unlucky not to go in like 3 or 4-0 up. So yeah, we just kind of lost our momentum.
We should have killed the game off.
We should have, but we didn't. And then we just allowed Wolves to get back into the game, and unfortunately they managed to get an equaliser. Poor equaliser. Unfortunately, Trippier, our captain, was at fault. Mix up at the back between Pope and Trippier. And you could tell it was getting into Tripp's head after the goal. He knew it was him. He knew he was at fault, but then it was getting to him because he was misplacing passes and all the rest of it, and he wanted to make amends for it. He takes the captaincy at this club very seriously, and he made up for it basically, didn't he?
He did. There was a lot of changes just literally before that goal. Newcastle made a double change. Wolves made 2 or 3, and obviously it was I can't pronounce his name. What's his name?
Hwang Hee-Chan.
I'm pleased he said that, not me.
I took a breath when I said that as well, by the way.
I think he's very, very fortunate just having an empty goal. Thank you very much. And then it was look, we can talk about the mistakes that Kieran Trippier has done. I think Kieran Trippier has been bailed out by Miguel Almirón massively, because there's no shadow of a doubt about it. We would have all come out after here on the videos and point the finger at Kieran Trippier. And there probably would have been a debate as a time to drop him, but he's been bailed out.
You can't drop him.
No, but there probably would have been.
Because again, immediately after the goal, it's like head up.
Yeah,
trips.
but we've won, so it's different.
No, but even still, after the goal, it's like head up trips. Like, he's.
So, go on,
no, I was just going to say he's got more credit in the bank than that. So if he was doing it on regular, then
he has been doing it regularly.
What, giving away goals?
The last 2-3 weeks he has.
Yeah,
Is that because his previous 12 months has been fine?
Yeah, as I said, he's got credit in the bank.
Me pot stirring.
You can pot stir all you want, but
I put it this way, right? Who was the option on the bench today? It was Javier Manquillo. I'd rather have a 60% Kieran Trippier than 100%.
Yeah, I'd agree. Look, I'm just stirring the pot, everybody. Don't put it on Twitter. Says Lee says Trippier should be dropped. But it kind of didn't galvanise us yet. But what was interesting is that Lopetegui said, "Do you know what? Let's slow the play down." There was a lot more goal kicks taken at the time, and and then he made the change. He brought Nathan Collins on, went 5 at the back, played the wing backs, and thought we're starting for a point here, and it backfired.
It did backfire, but the thing is, you can't really blame him, because at the end of the day, I think if you asked Lopetegui before the game started, would you take a point away from home at Newcastle? Yeah,
especially if you're 1-0 down.
Especially if you're 1-0 down as well. So I don't blame him for that side of things. I think it was probably a tad too early. Maybe I think he probably could have given an extra 10 minutes and then gone, yeah, we'll shut shop. But Newcastle got back into the ascendancy. They did kind of what they did in the first half. They went on the front foot and they went for it. But you've got to give credit to Newcastle, because it was from a Wolves mistake, really, that kind of got Newcastle back into it. And it was just a lovely little 1-2 on the edge of the box. I forget who passed it to Almirón. I haven't seen the benefit of that goal yet, but back, I should say. But what a finish from Almirón. Because this time last year, would he have scored that? Probably not. He probably would have found a way of missing it. But that's his 11th goal of the season now. And that's like, for Miggy, 11 goals in a season. I'm shocked. I'm shocked, but I shouldn't be now, because it's not unusual now. But the one thing I will say, I wonder how he felt when he got told he wasn't going to be starting today.
And I was about to say, because what we said you know, sometimes dropping a player gives them a kick up the arse.
Yeah, of course it does. It's massive, and I think now, like we've talked about the centre midfields, main 40, the wingers now. You've got saint-maximin, you've got Gordon, who's out for 2 weeks, but should be back for the Man United game. You've got Miggy, you've got Murphy, who I thought was solid as well. Competition for places is always a good thing, and you're going now, who starts on Friday? You kind of go, well, Murphy can't be dropped because he played that well. But Maxi was solid enough, could have...
He turned up
He did turn up, but there was spells where I was a bit worried about him tracking back with Dan Burn.
You're never going to get that with Maxi. You're not going to get... He
should be more at home.
Nah, it's never going to happen. Like, he put in a shift today. He turned up today.
Going forward, he did.
Yeah, of course. Like, at the back, he's never going to help.
But I think actually Dan Burn, credit room, because Traore was chucked off at half-time.
I've got to say that as well. I got to hold my hand up. I'm in a group chat and I said Traore would give Dan Burn a lot of trouble, and basically Dan Burn pocketed him for 45 minutes.
And Semedo as well, who was a tricky customer as well.
The only thing I add on saint-maximin, defensively, he's still a massive worry for me. It was a play when Wolves had that free kick from the centre.
Hold the mic for us. My arms hurt.
That's all right. When Wolves had that free kick on the edge of the box,
There we go.
Maxi had 3 chances to help his teammates out. There was one on the byline where he was trying to do a little flicks and he couldn't get it back to Dan Burn, and Wolves countered. There was another chance where he could have put a foot in on the cross, didn't, and then there was another chance just before the free kick where he could have got it away for Newcastle. He could have made himself a bit more braver, and then Wolves ended up getting a dangerous free kick. He needs to sort that out in his game.
I've always said that though. He's not going to help you out defensively. He'd be better when in the Liverpool game, albeit we was down to 10 men. Play him in the free role is better for him, because at least then you've got someone in the left wing position that will actually track back. That's probably the best position for him, because he's not going to get back.
I don't think he starts on Friday, because I don't think you can drop Miggy because of the goal.
Miggy might come in now.
I think Miggy comes in for Maxi, and I think Murphy stays in, because I think Murphy was solid, and I think you bring Maxi on. But again, the Maxi-Isak partnership works really well.
Can we at least try and just alternate the wingers? It's always the Miggy on the right hand side, Murphy was on the left hand side. Sometimes we could just switch within the game. Yeah. That's what I'd like to see. But overall, we've got choices now, which is great. It's fantastic to see.
I see him in all the time. Sorry to Stuart, I say all the time in the way it is. That's the one I was. That's the one that I was colours. We won. Look, Wolves put a little bit of pressure on the last couple of minutes, but nothing really materialised. Nick Pope had a save in that second half, low down,
really good save.
As well. That was a great save. But apart from that, Newcastle, we'll probably all three will say, should have won that easily. But we've done it the hard way. We won. We picked up 3 really important points. We'll talk about that league table in a second. But here is the backward team as Eddie Howe.
Staff performance in general, I thought was very, very good. Alex scored a massive goal for us. Second half, look, when it's 1 goal lead, it's always delicate. I thought it should have been more at half time. Wolves, to be fair, came back into the game. We know they've got very good players as well, but the character shown by the group to go again and get that winning goal, it's a great feeling for us. It was a penalty, personally, at the time. You might say I'm biased, but I didn't. I thought, I think it was Jimenez, wasn't it, was going down before the contact was made, but that was my initial assessment.
I've been wanting to play more, but it's been giving me a bit of fuel, so I was happy to be starting today, and I'm happy we got the 3 points as well. We've been playing good, but we haven't got the result, and today was all about winning, and so yeah, we are very happy now.
So that was Eddie Howe. He's delighted, he's calm, measured, collected. Normal, yeah, he is. He's great at interviews, isn't he? He's very media trained, which is great to see. And looking at that league table now, we've leapfrogged Liverpool. We've got 1 game in hand on them, but Spurs will look at that and think, ooh, bugger, they're only 4 points behind with 2 games in hand, so all to play for still.
Yeah, of course it is. But the thing with Spurs, you don't know what Spurs are going to turn up. Spurs will always be Spursy.
I'll wait for you to see it.
Spurs are being Spursy, but they are. They'll win against Tottenham Forest, but they'll probably get beat off whoever they got next week. Southampton away. You wouldn't be surprised if you saw Southampton 2, Tottenham 1 next week. But the one thing I will say about the top 4 race, there's a few teams in it. I think I would still put Man United in the top 4 race, in the sense that I don't think they're in the title race anymore, and I think if they slip into a bit of bad form, but I would expect them to be in the top 4, and then it's us, Tottenham, Liverpool. I'm not going to rule out Chelsea just yet.
I am.
I think if they lose 1 more, I think that's probably them out of it. But with the talent that they've got and a bit of form they've got, you kind of got to keep an eye on Chelsea. But keep an eye on Brighton. Don't disrespect Brighton. They play very, very good football. If they can get onto a bit of a goal-scoring form, keep an eye on them. I don't expect them to be there towards the latter end. They might keep their eye on the FA Cup because in the quarter-final against Grimsby. But keep an eye on them because they're a good footballing team.
How do you see it going forward? Because Spurs are out all cup competitions, which probably helps them.
Yeah.
Liverpool are on a surge. Yes, the Bournemouth game, but overall they look like they're gradually getting back. We're one today, which is important. Is it 1 out of 3 out of those clubs, or do you still see Chelsea lurking? Can they go on a run, or do you see it as Brighton? What's behind you? Or how do you see this top 4 race going?
I'm still seeing us at top 6 more than top 4. Top 4 is a bonus for me, but top 6 is more the aim for us. I just don't think we've got it right now in terms of just not quality, but just we've not been here before in a long while.
If we beat Forest, and I suppose if we beat Forest on Friday night, and then we go into the international break, the run-in.
Yeah, but I don't know. As I said, top 6 is the aim. Top 4 is a bonus for me. If we get top 4, fantastic. Imagine this place. You know,
imagine European nights.
Jesus Christ.
Get your passport out.
Yeah, dust that one off. ain't used that in a while.
We'll be doing the last word inside some random stadium across Europe, won't we?
What I will say is Newcastle United will be playing European competition next season. I'm confident of that. I don't know what competition they'll be playing in, but I think they will be in European competition. But it's an exciting race. But the only thing I would add, you'd go, who's the tough games left for Spurs? They've got us at St James's, they've got Liverpool at Anfield, but they've played everybody else. Man United as well. I think Man United have got to play Spurs at is it at Old Trafford maybe?
Well, Liverpool's possibly. Next 3 are
City, Chelsea, Arsenal, all in 1 week. All in 1 week.
Look, this top 4 is going to go all the way, and just for Newcastle to be back in the mix is a great feeling tonight. Newcastle have won. Like I say, we should have killed it off first half, but we've done it the hard way. But most importantly, we did it. 3 points on the board. Teams around us, we're mixing with the big boys. Newcastle, for me, are 2 years ahead of the curve. But drop us a like, everybody. If you haven't seen Scoring the Players, we've done that earlier live. We've done a match reaction with Johnny and Sam as well. See you everyone. Watch what you're saying. Bye bye.